Good day. William Wagener here with breaking news on the race for Secretary of State of California. The position that controls the elections and verifies who's legally capable and qualified to run for office. A very important position. Currently on the Republican side, there seems to be only this former football player, Democrat Damon DUNN, who suddenly registered as a Republican, and it appears he's to get the Secretary of the Elections there in Florida to take him off their voter rolls as a registered Democrat. We tried to catch up with Mr. Dunn, but he ran away from our camera crew. I'm William Wagener bringing this scoop. Meanwhile, we're going to call the election people in Florida and see if we can get them on tape, verifying a letter that they sent back saying they could not take Mr. Dunn off their registered rolls as a historical event, even though Damon Dunn asked them to take him off and obliterate the record of him being on a Florida registered Democrat. This letter says Office of the Supervisor of Elections, has Jerry Holland, Supervisor of Elections, has your phone number. It's dated April 13th, 2010, but I'm not sure who it's addressed to. It says, Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing to document my correspondence with Mr. Damon Dunn. On July 10th, Mr. Dunn contacted our office via telephone and asked for his ineligible voter registration record to be removed from the Duval County database. I contacted Division of Elections later that day to inquire if this was possible, and the legal department of the division informed me that the record could not be deleted from the database because a voter registration is a permanent record. I then mailed a letter to Mr. Dunn informing him that my findings, I have not had additional correspondence with Mr. Dunn since the incident. Thank you, Jean Marie Atkins, Director of Voter Administration. Does that sound familiar to you, sir?
The contents of what she's talking about as far as the record cannot be deleted is correct.
In California. So this is really significant information, and before I say much about this on my cable television show, I need to validate whether this letter is authentic or not.
I would not be able to do that until in the morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, William.
I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you one question. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Is there any other Damon Jarrell Dunns registered there in your Duval County?
Hold on, let me just verify. I just wanted to confirm with my staff. No, there is no other. There was no duplicate. There was only one name.
And he's the only Damon Jarrell Dunn registered there, and he was registered a Democrat there in Florida.
That is correct.
And he's the one that the letter was sent to April 13th.
Yes, that is correct.
Let me ask you one other question I didn't ask before. Were anybody there at Duval County aware that he's running for Secretary of State of California?
Not until we, I don't know if at the time he called, I think later on. Now we've gotten quite a few other people calling and researching it. So we're aware now and have been for a few months at least, but I don't know if it's original inquiry into his record at that point. I don't think he stated he was running for office or anything.
And he was trying to get...
He wouldn't have to. I mean, that's not a request of a voter to tell us what they're doing somewhere else.
That's correct. He originally made this request to delete his Democrat registration from the complete record list in July of 2009?
Yes, according to that letter, yes, it is correct.
And everything in Ms. Atkins' letter is correct?
Yes, it is.
And there's no other Damon Jarrell Dunns registered there at Duval County, you're very sure?
No, I am positive he is the one and only.
Okay, well thank you very much. I will not bother you again today.
All right, thank you, William.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. Well, that was Jerry Holland, the elected official for Duval County, Florida. As you just heard, he's stating, unequivocally there's only one Damon DUNN. He's registered Democrat there, and Mr. Dunn tried to get any record of his Democrat registration deleted. That to me is suspicious in itself. Since people cross party lines all the time, why did he want to hide the fact, now that he's running as a Republican in California, for Secretary of State, which controls elections and also has a lot to do with monitoring corporations? Why would he want to delete any record?
Your voting record cannot be deleted. I am aware of the gentleman's voting record in that he was registered but never voted in our county. Therefore, he was moved to inactive because his mail was returned to us. And then after 2 general elections, you're then moved to ineligible. So he's never voted in our county. He did register in our county, but never voted. And I can get you the dates of that because we've had probably at least 4 or 5 different people inquire of him. And so we're kind of familiar with it. I just was not familiar with that one conversation he had.
I appreciate that. There's 2 things I'm curious about, and that is, one is, who is this letter addressed to? Because it says, "Dear Sir" or "Madam." It's dated April 13th, which is very recent, 2010. And the other thing, was he registered as a Democrat?
I believe, and I'd have to confirm it, but I believe he was originally registered as a Democrat with us. I never voted, but originally registered as a Democrat.
So would he be still considered a registered inactive Democrat in Florida?
No, he is no longer active or inactive. He's ineligible, which means he is no longer registered in the state of Florida.
So he's an ineligible, but probably was a registered Democrat.
Originally, his registration was Democrat. He just never exercised his right to vote in this county.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your call back, and I appreciate tomorrow morning if you will just confirm to me at your convenience
I sure will.
that...
I'll be glad to as soon as I talk to Gene, and I'll give you a call. At our time zone, I'll at least leave you a message, and then you can call me when you get up to date on our time.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, you have a good evening.
Thank you. Supervisor election, that was Jerry Holland in the county in Florida there, Jacksonville, Florida, where he, as you just heard, he had not voted. Damon Dunn was a registered Democrat. He didn't vote very often. It makes me wonder why he's so interested in being the head official of 40 million California's office of Secretary of State that monitors corporations and runs the elections in California. I would think the people of California would be interested in this and would want to know that the person who holds that office has a keen interest in making sure elections are done correctly and lawfully and legally, and people who are not eligible to run don't run, and people who are not eligible to vote don't get to vote in this state. That's my report. William Wagener.